can you make yourself introduction first?
Yeah, sure. So I go by John. My name is Hao. So I graduated from University of Cyberjaya. I got both my masters in business, MBA there, and also my B.Pharm there. I practiced in retail during my PRP and got my license there. Then during the same time, I was also involved in manufacturing business, distributing business. Then I ventured into a startup, biotech startup. I also involved in TPA, claim processing, managing their digital healthcare portfolio, and now I'm here at eSIMS, handling their business strategy and product as a manager here. So on the side, I'm also a council member for MPS, Malaysian Pharmacist Society, and I'm also the secretary for Digital Health Malaysia. So these are two societies that I'm affiliated to. Other than that, I've been, in the past, I've been also active in YPC and MyPSA. Yeah.
What inspired you to pursue your career in the business field?
I like to do things different. I tend to make choices that most people don't do. So that's why I sort of focus myself on business and industry. And also partly, being a naive student at that time, because our lecturer said, if you want to earn big bucks, you need to go to the private. If you just want to practice, you go to the government. That kind of mindset sort of instilled. So yeah, that's where it's all started. Then eventually I took on a PRP-ship in the private sector. Then my career started.
So as a science background graduate, what challenges do you have to overcome at the beginning of your journey as business consultant, business strategy manager?
After I took my MBA, my masters, and also undergoing my research, then only I noticed actually business, there's a lot of theory behind. There's also science behind in business. There's a lot of studies being done. And for us, similarly, like pharmacists, we practice clinical through case study. In business, there's also a lot of case study to dissect, to analyze what's the advantages, what's the steps that are being taken by the business. And that's where I think that it's different, but it's the same as well. The approach is the same, it's just the facts is slightly different. So I think, it's not that difficult to transition, but it requires a lot of reading, a lot of, I think, understanding what business is. I think at the end of the day, the privilege of being a science student is we are analytical and we tend to break things down in pieces.
What has been your most satisfying moment in your career?
I used to have, because I practice in Kajang, it's a slightly like suburb area, not say kampong but suburb area. So there's one auntie that she has skin problems. She has very severe eczema flare-up. So she went to see like a few pharmacists, a few doctors, they didn't help. So when she came to the pharmacy, I prescribed her some creams and plus some oral medications. So I recall, I think 3-4 weeks after that, she purposely took a bus for an hour because she couldn't drive. She don't have anyone to fetch her, so she took a public transport, which is a bus, to just go to the pharmacy and just to say thank you to me, like, I helped solve a problem. That moment, right, and I realized like how important a pharmacist's role is, and changing everyone's lives from that. So that's from a practitioner standpoint. I think in terms of like being in the industry, so the achievement is when, of course, your product runs well, like people using it, people like it. That's a sense of achievement there.
How do you define success?
I think I see life as a marathon. What does it mean is you don't define one success, you define milestones. Like, for me, is every time when you look back, there's no regrets. I think that will be a success. You have done what you could, you have taken the best opportunity you have, that will be a success. During my PRP ship, my milestone was, I need to complete my PRP ship. So once I completed, I feel successful. I feel like I've done something. Then when I'm in the factory, manufacturing, developing products for our customers, once it's done, I also feel it's a success. So I guess for me, success is fulfilling your objectives, and each of us have different objectives.
How do you stay informed about advancement in the healthcare industry?
I would say surround yourself with people who are constantly moving ahead of that. It's an advantage. So I'm lucky enough to have a lot of contacts in my network that is constantly, spearheading, the development of this industry. So most of the time I get my information from there. And also I'm involved in societies. So these societies also provide like first-hand information. Yeah, basically from this too.
What advice would you give to someone who is trying to be on the same path as you?
I think first thing is you need to think different. You cannot be influenced by your peers, because either starting a business or being the person in charge of business, it takes you out of the practice, but you still need to maintain your professional knowledge. Secondly, of course, it requires additional effort to learn about business. Don't take business as granted. Don't say like, oh, business anyone can do. Yes, anyone can do if they put in the effort. It shouldn't be something that's taken for granted. And of course, thirdly is I think before stepping into business, ask yourself why. Is it about like people will say like the money, the fame, or is it something that you're passionate about, you like? Lastly is, of course, in business, there's a lot of soft skills involved. So for those who are really planning into venturing into the business side of the pharmacy field, brush up your soft skills as well. Keen in networking, reach out to people, get to know people, just talk to people. Don't stay within your own circle, because at the end of the day, business won't happen within your own circle.
How do you see the future of healthcare in 10 years?
Will be decentralized, for sure. We will see a lot more community hospitals, like aka community hospitals, or even home hospitals. That means hospital at home, being empowered by technology. Sooner or later, there will be a section where they will sell like health devices. So for example, like smartwatches, or measure your blood glucose using your mobile app, that kind of thing. Primary care is slowly being replaced by technology. Meaning to say, like teleconsultations, telemedicine is replacing some of the clinic role in the community. So they might shift to like I said, community hospital kind of model, where people don't need to go for hospital. That is because hospital has a lot of operational issues, with long waiting time, booking. So in terms of managing continuity of care, it needs to be accessible and close to.
The accessibility of our healthcare will be improved in 10 years.
Yeah, definitely.
So how about the affordability? Is it will improve, like in terms of like online, like teleconsultant compared to like hospital care, in terms of affordability?
I would say healthcare at the end of the day, it should be covered as like a global healthcare insurance. Like everyone should be covered, like how current public hospitals is doing. So every one of us, taxpayer, Malaysians, if you go to public hospital, you don't need to pay.